Hey everyone, welcome back to How to Be a Poser. Today we're going to maximize the potential of your figure using a wide range of accessories. To do that, we're going to be using the Hot Toys Marty McFly 6-scale figure from Back to the Future Part 2. Let's get started. Alright, here he is, Marty McFly, still in his box, exactly as he's going to come to you. Comes with so many accessories, evocative of Back to the Future Part 2, up to and including that magnificent hoverboard. Look at that, we're going to have some fun with that today. Got a cool little futuristic can of Pepsi, a calculator watch, his awesome shiny ball cap, so much stuff. I can't wait to see what I can do with this, so let's get started. Okay, here's Marty out of the box, and quite naturally, I think everybody just wants to see a hoverboard pose. We've seen a million of these online, but don't let that deter you from doing it yourself. I'm certainly not going to. There's this nice action hand, gesturing hand, that I think works really well for that. So I'm putting that on here right now. And the figure comes with this awesome dynamic figure stand that has the water motif going on for it from the town square. Even though they say that hoverboards don't work on water unless you have power, I think we'll just go ahead and use it anyway. From what I understand, you shouldn't use excessive force when sliding this boot into the slot. The other boot will have a magnet up here for the foot to adhere to. So there we go. That's where it should be. So now that we've got the hoverboard attached, we can apply the figure to the dynamic support stand. Now it's a little bit too tall, I think. The hoverboard doesn't fly quite that high. So I think to make this work, what you really need to do is just work with this dynamic figure stand. Bend it back, then come up a little bit and bend it forward again. Just to get it, this accomplishes two things. This lowers the height of the figure, and if you do it right, then the figure will be further out over the figure stand and more centered in the display. Now, this is a good starting place. I might want to change this. We'll see. But what I want to do is I want to get him sort of doing like this slalom effect, like he was just coming up on an obstacle and he used the dynamics and the physics of the hoverboard to actually come up and do almost like a grind kind of an effect. Like he's carving. That's it. And see what this is doing is, so you learn as you go when you're posing a new figure with new physics and everything involved. But what I've done by bringing that board out is I've actually moved the figure so far out here that it kind of has become unbalanced on the stand. So got to make an adjustment there. That's the other thing that I didn't do quite right. Make sure when you put your the clamp on, that you tighten this all the way. At this point, I'm just kind of experimenting with postures, just trying to think of how this would be working. I'm thinking that I don't have it quite right, because I want this board, see how I'm doing right there? I want this board to be facing a little bit up, not pointed at the ground. Pointing it at the ground will kind of imply that it's about to crash, at least in my mind. The pants have gone all high water, so at some point you're going to want to interrupt this process and just kind of edge these pants down so that they're tucked a little bit more back into the boots. Right now, as you can see, it's just kind of flat, kind of parallel to the ground, and I don't like that. I want it to be angled up a little bit more, and I think one way that I can do that is by just rotating Marty's body at this point. And then once I've got that done, lift those legs just a little bit more. From my wakeboarding days, there's a line that says if you look down, you fall down. So we don't want Marty to be looking at the ground. So kind of turn his head so that his eye line is on the horizon. The technical term for that is target fixation. So basically, if you're looking at the ground when you're doing something, a stunt or whatever on any sort of a board, then you're likely to head in that direction. So the trick is to look at where you're going. Then you want Marty to be doing that same thing. All right, now that's cool, but I think that's still a little bit too high. So I'm going to play with this stand a little bit more and really kind of push it to its limits. Now this thing with his arm here, I don't think that looks balanced enough, so I'm going to bring his arm out just a touch more and then forward, because Just like with your eye line, you want your hand to be kind of moving in the direction that you're trying to get your body to go. This jacket is bowing out because of the clamp. What you do with, if that's the case, what you do is you can just try pulling it down. You could make the argument that that's just the wind blowing into the jacket, which is actually something that would happen. But I think that just looks more attractive. Back to the Future Part 2 is a story that takes place in equal parts in past, present, and future. But it's the future portion of that movie that captured everybody's attention. It did that primarily because of the inclusion of all the weird and wonderful toys, such as the hoverboard, or the Nike tennis shoes with the power laces, that crazy jacket and cap combo, all of which are included with this figure. Fans of that portion of the film are going to be able to accomplish anything that they can imagine. So have fun.